YouTube, this is Retta. A lot of my longtime subscribers have been waiting for this reading, so I'm going to do it. It's on Eric Braverman. It might be done in two parts, so I'll work on that. I just wanted to say hello, good morning to everybody. It's early in the morning here, and I just wanted to say good morning. Today I'll be working on going through some decks. I doubt I go through all my decks because it's just too much. But I'll go through a few and take some out for the giveaway, and I'll probably take like 5 or 6, and whoever wins can pick from the 5 or 6 decks. So we'll get that done. I want to say hi to my regular subscribers that's been with me, that know what I'm about, and hello to my new subscribers. And for my new subscribers, I just want to let you know, I am more of a conspiracy realist. I do readings on conspiracy type subjects, politics, stuff like that interests me. I did a reading on weather, the weather that's going on now, the modifications, stuff like that. I do some celebrity readings. That's not, I'm not geared to celebrity readings all the time. I do some celebrity readings. I think I have like over 40. So you can go back and look. I've done like over 40 celebrity readings, but I'm really more into, I come from an area of conspiracy. I come from an esoteric world, a world on symbology, stuff like that. So that's me. So I'm kind of different than all the other readers out there, and you won't find the same thing that you find over with them that you will with me, and vice versa. And because my subjects are a little bit different, and I believe in different things, so that's just here nor there. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, like, especially if you're new to this channel, like, what the heck is this woman talking about? So most of my subjects are on conspiracy type things, politics also. I'm very, I consider myself awoke to a lot of things, so I don't look at just like the paradigm of Democrat, Republican, this and that. It doesn't really, come into play for me. So that's neither here nor there. So what I'm going to do is go off of Eric Braverman and Neil Brown. So first I want to go look at Eric Braverman himself. Then I want to see his relationship with Clinton Foundation, and then I want to see this relationship with Neil Brown. I couldn't find, my little psychic investigators couldn't help me find. We were trying to find birthdays. We got birth years, but that doesn't really, help me out too much. But so Eric Braverman, he was the CEO of the Clinton Foundation, and his salary was like almost $400,000. And there was a time there where he disappeared right after the emails and all this that was going down. Eric kind of disappeared for like 5, 6, 7 months. He showed back up on the radar, but he was gone for 5 or 6 months, so people had a lot of different speculation. So we're gonna, I'm gonna go into him. And then he married Neil Brown. Now Neil Brown, he has a very interesting thing. He's a director of all types of things. I got bored. I wrote down the first 3 and got bored. You guys know I like to go into these readings cold. I don't really like to investigate. I don't have the patience to. That's what cracks me up when people are like, well, you read that, or you, in fact, no, I really don't have the patience to go and look through things. I look through information that kind of appeals to me, but sometimes I just know things, so I don't really want to go investigate things. I really don't have the patience or the time. I have my own, like YouTube. I do watch some videos. I do have some people I watch occasionally, but really I love makeup videos. guys know I'm a makeup fiend. So I watch a lot of makeup videos. So I don't watch the news. I don't have the patience. It's like I don't believe nothing in what the news says. So I really don't investigate. And I kind of like that. And I think my subscribers like that because this is just cold readings, and then my subscribers help me and we figure it out, you know. So from the readings I give, my subscribers, they go and hunt down the, you know, and confirm and expand and stuff like that. And I like that. So, but I do read lots of books. So, you know, in my spare time, I do like to read lots of books. So I read a lot of conspiracy books, stuff like that. I also love my little paranormal, you know, urban fiction books, my paranormal urban fiction books. Those is like, I love them. It's a vice of mine. So, but the news and stuff like that, no. All right. So, Neil Brown, as I was saying, I kind of got bored. I went through with the first 3 things because I was trying to find his birthday. So he is the director in charge of a business unit of KKR. Whatever KKR is, I have no idea. That identifies investment opportunities. Okay, if that's what you say. Also, he's the director of the Lugar Center that works in D.C. It's a bipartisanship of food issues. How did you go from business investments to food issues? Okay, that's a little different. And he's also the director of the Association of American Road Scholars. So that's all I really know of him. That's it. And I know that I think he got married to Eric Braverman. So I'm going to use this. I haven't used this deck before. This is like the 3rd edition of this deck. This is the Dandeloff deck. This is like one of my favorite artists. I have his artwork on my walls. So this is his 3rd. I have his other deck, but this one is his other decks. I forget what's different about this deck. This deck, I believe, has borders, or it's cut. The corners are cut. The other deck, the corners weren't cut. But it's basically the same deck. I think the backs are a little different. So I want to know about Eric Braverman. It is bright and early. I had my cup of coffee, so hopefully my brain is working a little bit better. Also, if you guys want to join my Facebook group, it's Intuitive Retta. Well, my Facebook page is Intuitive Retta, and off that Intuitive Retta, I have my Retta's reading room, which is basically like a site, a group where we talk about conspiracy, basically anything. So it's all, you got to have a tinfoil hat to go in that room, because we talk some things, we talk strange, you know, but it's fun. So I put a question. I had to think. I think there were some questions that people had. I have some questions up there. Sometimes I put videos there that I don't want to share here publicly, or also conversations or more in-depth explanations on readings that I don't get a chance to do it here. So this is Eric Braverman. Why do I feel very little energy coming from this guy? Usually I get an impression. He kind of feels like his energy is like not that. His energy kind of reminds me, there's a couple of people who have energy like this. Who was that guy that was a leaker? Oh, what was his name? I did a reading on him. You guys know my memory is so freaking bad. That leaker that's living in Russia. This guy's energy feels like that. There was another person whose energy felt like this. Who was the other person? Let's see. Alright. So right now, I'm seeing him. He has a lot of regrets. I don't know if you can see this. He's not in a good space right now. He's having a lot of regrets. He's walking away from things he once knew or once thought, or it's like he's on another passage. Maybe in his life, he's in another passage of his life. To me, this is like a portal, a gateway, or going through a gateway. And I don't know if that's for the better or for the worse, but there's a lot of regret there. There's a lot of like leaving things behind. I don't see him turning back, so he's not looking back onto the past. He's struggling with this decision. I see this man, he has a cane, so to me it's telling me it's a physical struggle for him to walk away. And I don't think he wants to be found or revealed, because I see him covered up in here, so it's like he's covered up. He doesn't want to be exposed. He doesn't want to be seen. Let's see, what's the cross to bear? There's a lot of secrets. He knows a lot of things. He knows a lot of things. You know, he knows a lot of things. He also knows, he's like in between both sides. He knows a lot of things. Things to line things up and to expose. So to line things up, this is his cross to bear, to expose. You see this straight line going up? There's people on both sides. His movements are limited. You know, his movements are limited. You know, there's beings on both sides. He's in between. Also, if you look at this, I said like a portal, a gateway going through. A portal, a gateway. I'm not saying like, it looks the same here. You know, you have the black and white, the duality, and going through. It's also like the pillars of going through, you know, going through. I think he knows a lot. I think he knows a lot. A lot. He knows a lot of secrets. I think he can line a lot of things up. Let's see, underneath him. Underneath him is, look at this. This is the Queen of Wands. So underneath all of this, there's the Queen of Wands. And in a lot of this readings that do with the politics and have to do with politics and stuff, this Queen of Wands. And I keep forgetting that we need to hunt this Queen of Wands. And this one, what is this? Aries? Where does this go? Aries, Libra? Libra. What is this? Aries or Libra? Aries or Libra? Capricorn? I don't know. But it's a fiery sign. A fire sign. So maybe a Libra. No, Libra is air. This one's a fire sign. So this woman, this Queen of Wands, she's showing up again. She always shows up in these political readings. Is underneath everything. So is this Hillary? I forget what Hillary is. I forget. Is that Hillary? We'll see. Let's see in the past. In the past, there was a lot of... He was on the defense. He had a lot of energy coming at him. A lot of energy coming at him. He seemed to have to... He was vulnerable. He seemed to be on the offense. That people were attacking him and he was vulnerable. He was vulnerable. And I felt like he had some protection. If you know Alexander, I have his artwork on my wall. This is the Hercules, because I have the picture that depicts this too on my wall. This is, remember when Hercules fought, if you believe in mythology, he fought this lion type beast, and he removed his skin and it was like a cloak. It was a cloak. So he has this around his waist. So it was like some sort of protection. So he was on some sort of protection, or he had his protection, but that protection still made him vulnerable. And it looks like he was fighting on his own. He had some protection, but the protection was unseen. Like, they weren't really there. They gave him protection, but it was up to him to fight his own battles, if you can understand what I'm talking about there. Okay, what's on his mind? On his mind is it maybe a love interest. This is what is this? The Knight of Swords. So on his mind is maybe a love interest. The Knight of Swords, the Knight of Cups is always kind of, going forth, with passion, a love interest, just going forth, not too much thought. I think he's really focused on a love interest. Maybe too focused on a love interest. I also see down here 2 fishes. To me, fishes always represent abundance, stuff like that. I see 2 fishes. Also, there's a sign. Who's the sign of the 2 fishes? Is that Gemini? Oh, Lord. You know my brain is. There's a sign. What's the sign with the 2 fishes? I think it's Gemini. Or Pisces. Ooh. The Death. I think him and Neil are having some issues. I think he's, to me, this is the end of that. I think, oh no, this is the World. So they're traveling. I'm sorry, I thought this was the Death card. I haven't used this deck in a while. So I believe they're traveling. I think someone said that he's not in America right now. I could see that with this card. I think his partner is with him. Also, there's the Tree of Life, so it's deep-rooted. But I also see a skeleton down here, so the end. Some of this deep roots is being blocked off by the end or by death. So the growth isn't really growing properly. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy growth. But I do see him overseas. I think someone said he was overseas. I do see him overseas, and he's being isolated. He's overseas in a bubble. So kind of like isolation, containment. There it is again. Look at it. Remember I said isolation, containment? There he is. He's contained. His movement has been stopped. He's in isolation and containment of his thoughts, what he sees, so what he sees, his thought process, his movement is being contained and isolated. And it looks like maybe he's lonely. But this was, like I always say about the 8, did he confine himself? Did his actions, his thoughts, his plans, did that put him in this self-containment, or did someone else do it? Did someone else put him in this containment, or was it a containment of his own making? And can he get out if he really wanted to? Alright, let's see in the future. To me, that's the Ace of Swords. I always say this is my cut through the bullshit and get through the nitty gritty. So the Swords is up. Also on here, what is that? An eagle and the end. So he knows a lot of information about the ends of things, the death of things, stuff like that. He knows a lot of what secrets, what things are buried. But his information, his knowledge is being contained. He knows a lot of information on what's been buried. What's been buried. This is it. The tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge also. What's been buried? What's been buried underneath this tree of knowledge? What's the foundations of the roots of what this grew to be? He knows the secrets. He knows the secrets. He knows the secrets. But his knowledge and his thoughts and his words are being contained and isolated. This is the Three of Wands. So, you know, he's waiting. I don't know what he's waiting for. He's actively waiting. Something he's done, some plans he's made, something like that. He's waiting. He's waiting. But it's not on a firm, whatever he's done, it wasn't on a firm foundation. You see this one leg up. So, you know, he could be waiting a long time. You know, he could be waiting a long time because whatever he did was not on a firm foundation. Whatever he did was not on a firm foundation. It was kind of unbalanced. And he needed some support. Here's this. It has to do with nostalgia. Nostalgia or children. Nostalgia or children. Nostalgia or children. Nostalgia or children. So there is a lot of emotions in regards to nostalgia, things of the past, maybe things that he did in the past that he really didn't have a firm foundation on, that he did what he had to do, maybe half-heartedly, and it might have to regards in with children. Or his thoughts of children. So I think that this card is very telling. The truth, nostalgia of things, what he did. He's waiting, what he did in the past. Let me see one more card. The Magician. He was the conductor. He was the conductor in relationships. So there's the Magician. So that's him putting his hands in something. His hands, you know, there's a mask being worn. A mask being worn. So some falseness. Portraying something. And it has to do with relationships. What the heck? And the Queen of Swords. There's the Queen of Swords. So it has to do with relationships. And the Queen of Swords. The Scales of Justice. The Queen of Swords. Which is like a lawyer, this and that. Alright, I want to see this relationship. Hopefully we have time. I didn't realize that this was going to go on for so long. So I might do this in a couple of parts. So this is going to be Eric Braverman, part 1. And I'm about to turn this off and then go into his relationship with the foundation and then go in his relationship with Neil. Alright.